Memory loss wipes out the present for dementia residents, so they have no worries or concerns about it. No, how could they say that? Why did that happen? No how, why, what's, what ifs. They're just very much in the present moment, and they don't think about the future. There's no future proofing that needs to be done anymore. No mortgages, no children to look after. So it's really about being in the present moment and watching, looking and observing, which is very much a part of the dementia unit culture. Not just watching the birds outside the window, but inside, all the staff, all the other dementia residents, relatives coming and going. There's plenty of people to watch, observe and take note of in a dementia unit, and dementia residents do. And it's good for their cognition, it's good for their communication skills, it's good for their observation, subjective, objective. A lot of things come into play in watching and observing and taking note of what's happening with other people. Now, this observing and watching is heightened actually at 3 particular times of the day, or 2 really. It's breakfast, lunch and dinner. But breakfast time, everyone's sort of just waking up and saying good morning. So it's really lunchtime and dinner time that the eyes are on the red alert for seeing if they can find or glean any new pieces of information which haven't been part of the diary equation up till now. Now, the special points of information, which if you can garner, take you up in the pecking order. If you observe, for example, that someone's had a new haircut, one of the staff, that's a plus. A bigger plus by far is if you notice if the carer or nurse or the female staff member has a ring on her finger, an engagement ring. That's a big one. If you can spy that, that's the engagement. Yes, question mark. Is there going to be a wedding? A lot of discussion. Are you going to bring us in photos? Where are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? Etc, etc. So that's a big one. Then another one, unflattering, seemingly initially, people saying, dementia residents saying, are you putting on weight? Well, yes, maybe you are. Or are you pregnant? Yes, well, yes, maybe you are as well. So all of these things, hairstyle, engagement rings, putting on weight, pregnancy, they're the things that are looked out for big time. And if you garner that and can deliver that information loudspeaker-wise to all the other ladies and men at the lunch table or at the dinner time, then really you've won for that particular moment. Now, staff are very tolerant of all this banter, I have to say, because I worked in the dementia unit and initially I thought, maybe the girls would get offended by such comments really, because, you know, if you're putting on weight or whether you're pregnant, I mean, do you really want others to know that? But the girls were good. I mean, it was a dementia unit, it's a different culture. They know that the residents are interested in what's going on in their lives and they're really very tolerant of it. It's not just tolerant and accepting, but actually generous with information. So, for example, those the staff members who become pregnant, and of course most of the staff are young, relatively, in dementia units. I mean, not everyone, of course, but many are from, you know, all throughout the 20s and 30s. A lot of the carers are in their 20s and 30s, and most of them are female. And so, of course, staff will become pregnant from time to time. So it is a good big talking point. Now, the staff themselves, of course, yeah, it's really challenging actually, because, you know, they work right through practically their whole pregnancy, if you can believe it, you know. So it's very hard, physical, demanding, challenging work, working in a dementia unit, and working when you're, you know, heavily pregnant as well is so hard and so demanding. But if the dementia residents are cognitive enough to appreciate and have empathy and understanding for your situation, that actually helps, because they will make an effort to be more polite, less challenging, etc., if they realise that, you know, that you are pregnant and having to make more of an effort physically with your work because of that. So with the residents, then it will be, of course, when and if, or when, not if, but when the carer or the staff member goes off to have the baby, then of course everyone wants to see the baby. So often 6 weeks after the baby's born, the former carer, hopefully to be continuing her job later on, 6 months after she's had pregnancy leave, will come in with the lovely little baby and show all the residents the lovely little baby. And, you know, this is such a nice thing, actually, because all of this adds to the community, the feeling of community and family and camaraderie and, you know, loving feelings and loving the baby. And if it's not the actual baby, then it's definitely photos of the baby, absolutely photos of the baby. So when the staff member comes back from pregnancy leave, no, not pregnancy leave, maternal leave, is it? Look, I'm sorry. When they've had the baby and 6 months leave with the baby, they come back. Then, of course, on their iPhone, they've got videos and they've got photos and everything going on. And they show the residents what's happening to the little baby and how it's growing up. So all of this, from just having noted that the carer was pregnant to then the baby and then the baby growing up and them being part of the, you know, story of knowing all about the baby, just like a grandmother would, is very heartwarming. And it's quasi as if they're going through it themselves with their own grandchildren, you know. So they role play again the whole experience of what it was like when they were grandparents, now with another child from their carer. And the carer, of course, their carer is very much like family anyway. They see them every day, half an hour every day. I mean, that's a lot of time to spend with someone, really, full time. And then every 2 hours you get to see them if for toileting. And then every meal time, breakfast, lunch and dinner, let alone morning and afternoon tea. So really, your carer you are seeing all day long, much more than you would ever see your family. So they do become family and it does become community. So this whole aspect of being present, being in the moment, does garner a certain quality of life. If the resident chooses to bring it to a positive perspective. So when, for example, a resident notices that a carer has put on weight, then the big thing is be nice about it, don't be mean. So if they have actually put on weight and they're not pregnant, then, you know, don't harp on about it. Just leave it and let it go and be nice about it. So this whole aspect of positive thinking comes under the umbrella of being nice and not being mean. That's the main thing in dementia units that residents emphasise to each other and to the staff, that you've got to be nice, you've got to be good, and you've got to try hard, because this is a community and we all have to get on. So I've written about these topics at length in both books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit, both on Amazon. Ebook is popular, and on my website, pietavalentine.com. So thank you, YouTube and TikTok. Thank you so much. All these subscriptions flooding in, surge of likes and looking and all the rest of it, viewing and looking and liking. And YouTube, thank you for your viewing. I know there's a lot of you out there viewing, but for those of you that are viewing and finding this channel interesting, please subscribe, because it really does make a difference to the platform being able to get up and running. So thank you for your support, everyone. I appreciate it.